Welcome to the Festival of Storytellers.
I can't tell you how excited I am to be on right now. It's been a couple of weeks of excitement, getting prepared, and I've done a lot of things in my life, but this has got to be close to the top.
Thank you, Reader's Magnet, and thank you, John, for putting this forth and taking the chance on us authors in presenting this out to the world.
I've enjoyed this immensely, Joanne.
Ellie, so have I. Thank you for who you are, and thank you, Reader's Magnet. You all are beautiful, and you've worked so very hard, and we are blessed.
We are.
I thank everybody that's involved with this process, because we know writers need readers and writers need publishers. We thank Reader's Magnet and everybody that's involved. I love Reader's Magnet. They say, we share your stories with the world.
Hello, welcome to this session of the Festival of Storytellers, sponsored by Reader's Magnet. I am David Dockter. I'm the author of the book Black Rock Redemption, for those of you who have read it and enjoyed it. I really appreciate it. But I'm here today to talk about my new book. My new book is called Wagon Train Orphan. It is a Western, and it is, well, growing up in the West is hard, but it's especially hard if you were an orphan. This book tells about the story of Mike Fagan, who was left an orphan by a wagon train Indian massacre when he was 8 years old, and the only survivors of the massacre was Mike and his dog Wolf. The story tells about how Mike grows up and survives, and he lives to fulfill his father's dream of making it to the California gold fields and more. And it tells about the people that helped him and along the way. This book, well, Mike has great faith in God. When he talks about his father, to the beginning, there's two things his father taught him. Thank you, Stephanie. The two things that his father taught him and that he knows is how to read the Bible and how to shoot. And his father did a really good job with both. Mike meets all kinds of people along the way. He has his faith in God. He reads from his father's Bible every night. And the people that are with him and me, they join him when he's reading from the Bible. This is a real bang bang shoot 'em up Western. I mean, it's there are a lot of people in this world that are good and helpful, and Mike runs into a lot of them. White men, Indians, Hispanics, you name it. Mike runs into them and makes friends with a lot of them. But there's also a lot of the other type people in the world. And Mike meets up with a great number of those also. And Mike has, shall we say, little patience with people who think they're better than others, stronger than others, and so whatever they want, they can have, no matter what the weaker people is. The reason I write about this Western time in the United States is this was probably the most unusual time in the whole history of the world. There has never been a migration like the American Western movement. There were migrations and have been migrations of one tribe or another, or one country or one king or another throughout time. But they were all driven by governments conquering armies and sponsored. Ours, Western movement, was driven by individuals, not by government. It was driven by people who were looking for the promised land. They were looking to bring the promise of our Declaration of Independence and our Constitution and spread it through the country. They come west. Thank you, Gopnik. I hope I pronounced that right. It was so nice. Now I got to get back to my line of thought. Sorry about that. The people that come to the West were looking for freedom, freedom of religion, freedom from tyranny, and freedom to do as they saw fit. Some of them thought that meant that to take everything they were big enough to take. There were others who who believed that coming into the West, the strong needed to protect the weak. They also needed to help bring these help bring the principles of liberty and justice for all with them. Amanda says she's read in my Bible that I married my high school sweetheart. And wants to know what kind of tips can I share for young couples now? Well, sometimes when you meet somebody and you know it's just right, it is. It's not going to, and if you get married young, it's not going to be easy. But if you put God at the center of your marriage and you trust and work at it together, you will be successful. I know success usually means rich, famous, and all that stuff. No. Success means that you have a loving, caring, and relationship with your spouse and with God. Like I says, when you get married, a marriage isn't between two people. A good marriage has three people involved: you and your spouse and Christ in the center. Back to the book. These people that come and settle the West from our country, across the country, they were strong, but a lot of them didn't make it. People going across the Oregon Trail, it was said there was a grave at least every mile. There was a lot of them that did make it, and they were strong and independent. They wanted to see this country grow, and they wanted to grow. And every time the growing was taking place, there was always one thing: the people put God in the center. There were those that didn't. There were the bandits, the robber barons, the rancher, the people that come in and wanted to claim vast amounts of country for themselves so they could set up their own little kingdoms. But through the help of God, most of them never, ever prospered. And if they did, it was only for a while. Our country and our nation is the strongest, most respected nation in the world because we still follow the principles that these pioneers had when they come west. Stories about the West will never die out because, like I said, this is the most interesting part of the country and of the world and the migrations. And as long as people believe in the values, there will be Westerns. I hope that you will pick up my Western and read it and enjoy it. I talk about my philosophy in life a lot. My philosophy is all things are possible through God. And that is what I try to convey in the stories that I tell. Stephanie says her father always tells her to put God in the center of everything she does. What advice, what can you advise to those people who don't have faith in God? Well, I don't know. I'm not sure how to advise them people. I know that God exists, and they deep down, I don't care if you're an atheist or whatever, you know that something exists that is more powerful than what we are. This world, this universe, is all done by a plan. It's not done by accident. You can't take one atom and maybe a million years from now come up with me. But God can take a bunch of dirt, blow life into it and a spirit into it, and create man, and in 10,000 years, then you come up with me. And we come up with you. God is the center of all things. And people that don't know him need to search for him and find him, because they will never have anything better in their life than the true relationship with Jesus Christ. Now I'm going to give a brief outline of my story, my individual story. I grew up in the 50s and 60s in Pueblo, Colorado. My high school activities were hunting, fishing, and rodeo. I had to support my own activities, and I did this in high school by holding down several jobs. Amanda asked, what's the best lesson your book has taught to all its readers? Excuse me, Amanda, the best lesson I believe that comes through is that people are good, and that all things can be accomplished with God. Like I said, to support my high school activities, I worked several jobs during high school. I was a janitor at Dunkin' Donuts. I worked construction with a pool building company. I also bucked hay and hauled hay for 6 different dairies within the Pueblo County. Now I'm going to tell you, if you have never spent a summer bucking hay, you don't know what work is. When you do that, throwing 75-pound bales day in and day out, loading 6 or 8 trucks a day, and then unloading them and stacking them, by the time you're done for the summer, you're in a pretty good shape. That is a job, man, let me tell you. Upon graduation, I joined the U.S. Navy. I spent 4 years active and 12 years as a reservist. Then I had to get out due to health problems. I married my high school sweetheart in 1972, 6 months after graduation, and we were together for 28 years before she passed. We raised 4 beautiful, lovely children, and today I have 15 grandchildren and 3 great-grandchildren, and I am so blessed to be in that category. I hope with my writing and the way I live and stuff, I can be a role model for my children, my grandchildren, my congregation, and my community. I now live in a place called Ordway, Colorado. It's not very big, maybe 1,500 people in the town, maybe 2,000. But I have been active in the community and the church. I have served with my church as an elder for the last 12 years. And I am humbled to be able to do that. I am not sure that I am qualified, but I do the best and with God's help, I seem to be doing okay. I still love to go fishing and camping. I can't do much hunting anymore due to health issues. But I'd like to go to the mountains when I go fishing and be in what I call God's country, where you can feel God's beauty and mystery and majesty and be enjoyed. Alyssa, I am glad and happy you say that. I hope that you feel that way when you do read it. I hope a lot of people feel that the book is worth reading. Because I enjoyed writing it. If you're a writer, keep at it. It don't matter if you finish your story or what. I probably started 100 different stories in the last 40, 50 years. I never finished one. I get started and, life interfered, raising kids, working, buying the house, just life. But now I have when I started writing Black Rock Redemption, I could feel God's inspiration when I was writing it. And it just seemed to flow. And I got it finished and published. That book took me 6 months to write and get published. From what I understand, that is almost record time. The book Wagon Train Orphan has taken me almost 4 years to write and get published. Again, I feel I was inspired by God and He led me through everything that I do. Thank you, Alyssa. I hope I give you inspiration. I'd like to inspire others. Everybody has a story to tell. It's just how they get it told. And with faith in God, you can tell your story, or you can accomplish your dreams. It is said that man makes plans, but God sets the trail. You have to have faith in your dreams. We are not far from wrapping up today. I would hope that I have inspired some. I would hope that you would get my book and read it. And when you do, write me a review. If you enjoy it, great. If there's something wrong with it, let me know. I'm not going to break. I have plans for a couple other projects on the books right now. One is I'm planning on writing a book, planning on writing a book about the indentured servants that come over from Ireland in the 1600s and how they were treated and what happened to them. And, well, my protagonists and stuff, I believe are going to be 2 young boys, and they will probably end up being runaways from their servitude. Other project I'm kicking around, and I've been kicking around for quite a while, is about a soldier that comes home wounded and with PTSD and how he struggles to return to normal life and how he struggles to get over his PTSD, though I believe you can never I believe you can never completely get over it. But again, anything is possible with God. And yes, Stephanie, that's what I was just talking about. I'm planning on writing another book or two, as long as God gives me time and life to do it. We are about out of time, my friends. I have enjoyed this Festival of Storytellers beyond measure. I want to thank Reader's Magnet for setting it up. I want to thank all of my listeners who have joined me. And I want to thank God in everything I do every day. I am going to say goodbye now. Thank you.